Hey, it's Risa coming to you live on Friday for Heart to Heart Conversation. Please type in, say hi if you're here, if you're on the recording. Today is for you, my darling, if you are in that place of ambiguity, of indecision, feeling just like you've been sitting on the fence and you're tired of sitting there and you're struggling with that question of whether to stay or go. I know. Most of us live with that question for a lot of years. Research shows on average, most women stay stuck in relationships they're not happy in on average for 10 years. There's good reasons for that. But today I want to give you 3 powerful tips on, we're going to talk about like how do you get real clarity? How do you really answer that question? And how do you get that real clarity, the ultimate relationship clarity that you need? So we're going to talk about expectations, and we're going to talk about decision-making criteria and where that real clarity comes from. Does that sound good? Type in yes in the comments right now if that sounds good to you. All right, so take a breath. Ooh. First of all, I'm glad you're here because I know it's not easy when you're not happy and you're just in that place of indecision and you're struggling. All right, so first thing is, how do we answer that question? How do we get to that real clarity? Well, no one can answer that question except for you. And I know it might be easy, right? If we just post in this group and have someone tell us what to do, but it just doesn't work that way because, other people can give you their own perspective on things from their own life experience. We all have our own lens of how we see life through and our experiences. So, right? We can get advice from everybody else, but really it's your own opinion. It's your own inner knowing that counts. And so let's just talk for a minute though about expectations and what healthy expectations look like, because I think that, that's a lot of what I'm seeing has been helpful for people who are posting in the group is just sometimes it's helpful to just get a reflection back from others about, just to do a reality check on, am I crazy or, should I be expecting more than this? And so I'm seeing a lot of that. And I love how everyone is supporting each other in the group. So shout out to, all of you that are providing support for each other. So here's the thing, you guys, is that at a very minimum level, you should expect to feel safe physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I'm just going to put a little disclaimer out right now. If you are in a situation where you're feeling physically or even emotionally unsafe, then that's really a different conversation. And I would encourage you, if you are feeling at all unsafe, to just get in touch with the National Domestic Violence Hotline, because that really is a different conversation. But, for most of us, it's just our expectations, yes. So, yeah, we should expect on a bare minimum level is just to at least feel safe physically, mentally, emotionally with our partner. And you should and I don't like to use that word should, but what healthy expectation is that yes, you can and you should expect a partner who cares about you, who loves you, who is supportive. Ideally, right? Ideally, I know a lot of us are not in that situation right now, but ideally, that is a healthy expectation. You should expect someone who works with you as a team, who you feel like you're on the same team together. And I know it probably doesn't feel like that right now if you're here in this group, but you should expect support on all levels, with contributing to the household, with just emotional support, and trust. I know is a huge issue for a lot of people, and but ideally, you want a partner who is loving and supportive, and you can trust, and they're being honest with you, and and what else was I going to say about that? Just you have each other's backs, and you can count on each other. And I will say that if, it, it is possible, like if both people really have a desire to improve the relationship and make it work, it is possible for things to improve if both people have a genuine desire to do that. And I know like two of the biggest issues that I pretty much see across the board are communication and then just that feeling of disconnection, lack of emotional intimacy. And those are actually skills that most of us were never taught how to do. And so just, for those of you that are, if you're really wondering if you can still make it work, just know that it is possible if both people have a genuine desire to want to improve things. It is also possible to build back trust even after it's been broken, if both people have a genuine desire to do that with the right kind of support and tools. It is possible for that to heal and heal even stronger when trust has been broken. So, having said all that, let's just talk about some other decision-making criteria. And so you don't want to make a decision out of an emotional reaction to what your partner is doing, right? And I know I was very clear about that when I left my marriage. I was married to a man who struggled with alcoholism and depression, and I could have left out of anger, out of frustration, out of, resentment, like many times. But that did not feel good to me, right? Because then it felt like, well, then I'm putting the ball in their court. It didn't feel, I wanted to feel like I'm in my power. It's my decision, and I wanted it to come from a deep, clear level of inner knowing, not out of like just an emotional reaction to what someone's doing. So that's number one, because then what happens, right? We're giving our power away, and then, like I said, the ball's in their court, and it's like, all right, well, now if you change your behavior, then I change my decision. And so then we get into that, that issue with then, I make a decision out of a reaction. Then what if they change their behavior? So, it's like we've got to get to that place of more deep inner knowing. And so how do we do that? Is we have an opportunity, my darling, is to look at when we are getting triggered emotionally. We call this triggers as treasures, even though they don't feel like it at the time. But like when we're getting triggered emotionally, it's our responsibility to then look within ourselves and see, what is it? What is it in me that's getting so triggered? And this is usually where the coaching support comes in, that I love to do with people, is just that deeper transformational work to look at what are the patterns in me that are getting triggered. And we all have our stuff. We all have our patterns of relating, which may or may not be serving us so well anymore, that we all develop in our childhood, which also affects our expectations. If we have really low expectations, if we're accepting unacceptable behavior, there's good reasons why we do that. Maybe we were just never taught that we were never made to feel worthy of that kind of love, that kind of relationship. But I'm here to tell you that you are. And I know you know that in your heart. So that's what our job is, to look at what is it in us that's getting triggered, and hopefully get some support to release any patterns that are not serving you. Because I guarantee you, if you're in a relationship right now that you're not happy in, there's some old pattern that's at the root of it that's running. And I know for me, like I said, I was married to a man who struggled with alcoholism and depression, and I actually waited a really long time to get married. I didn't get married until I was 38 years old, because I was aware, like I didn't want to, be that person that was needy. I didn't want to go into the relationship feeling like, I just wanted to feel as whole and complete and as good about myself as possible. And so, here I am finally, 38 years old, learning relationship after relationship that, yeah, this is, I don't want to be dependent on another person for me to feel good about who I am. And so I got to that point and I was like, well, I did a lot of personal growth work and everything. And, did a lot of training with a lot of people and like, how do you love yourself? Right? Spent my whole life trying to figure out, well, how do I just even like myself? How do I love myself? And anyway, so, time's ticking. I'm 38. I want to have a family, whatever. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm as ready as I'm going to be. And so I married a man. I actually married a man. He was very nice and very good man. And unfortunately, not really that emotionally available. And so why? Because why did I attract that kind of a person? Why did that feel like a match for me? Because I really still wasn't that emotionally available to myself. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't know how to just really, they say this definition of intimacy, into me I see. I really wasn't still really all that comfortable, or how do I just be with myself and be in acceptance. And so this is all the beautiful healing work that I've been doing on myself for decades, and that I do with my clients now, that I feel like there's nothing more that I would want, or that I would want to help other people with too, is like, how do you come into that place of really feeling whole in yourself and happy with who you are and feel free to be who you are and love who you are. And so that's our work, is when so I didn't realize. So here I am. I married this man, and the emotional connection. It was an issue for a long time. I was frustrated with as I grew, as I did become more emotionally available to myself, and he still wasn't. There was like just that disconnection there. Of course, there were issues with communication. That's why I learned a lot of good communication tools, even though it still takes two to tango. They didn't end up really helping all that much. But what I didn't realize until he relapsed into the alcoholism was how much I was really still depending on him for my sense of security, for my sort of sense of love or approval. And it really wasn't until all of that happened that I realized that was such an amazing learning opportunity for me, that I how to give that to myself, because I just didn't know how much I was still depending on that other person. Can you guys relate to this? Type in yes if you can relate to any of this. What I'm saying is that I think we all are kind of doing that, and we're sort of taught that. We have all our patterns, our old childhood patterns running, where we're sort of looking for the love in the wrong place, and culturally we're taught that too. So it's like two halves don't make a whole. So my wish for you, and my invitation for you, is like, can we take a breath and just, for now, can you just get the focus back on yourself, and let's just look within. If I'm putting up with unacceptable behavior, then it's my job to look at, why am I willing? Why am I willing to do that? Right? Maybe I just don't know that I should be expecting more. So hopefully this has been helpful for you to hear, and getting that kind of feedback from others. But really, where that clarity is going to come from is from us just getting and releasing any old patterns, any old unhealthy patterns that keeping us stuck in things that are not happy, and keeping us settling for unacceptable behavior that are preventing us from speaking up and asking for what we want, or setting healthy boundaries, or knowing what's a healthy expectation and what's not. And so it would be my pleasure and honor to be able to support you if you want some help with this, getting it figured out. I'm going to pop a link into the comments if you want to get on a private relationship clarity session with me. It's a complimentary 30-minute Zoom call. If you feel like you're ready to get this figured out, and you're ready to get the support you need to release any old patterns that are no longer serving you, that maybe keeping you feeling unworthy or keeping you, like I said, from setting those healthy boundaries, and just to help you get really clear on what you want and what you need. I'm happy to get on a call with you and we can talk about what it might look like. If I feel like I can help you and you feel like you want more support, we can talk about what it might look like to actually do some coaching work together. But there's no obligation. If you want to get on, we'll just really look at like what are the patterns that are coming up for you that are at the root of your challenges, and what are you going to need to focus on in order to be able to move ahead, to get the clarity you need to be able to move ahead in your life feeling whole and happy, confident, free. So that's my wish for you, and I'm happy to support you with that. So click that link if you want to get a spot on my calendar. Let me know if there's no spots left. I'll see if maybe I can fit you in, or if you don't see a time that works, let's see if we can try and work something out, because I'm here to support you. I know none of this is easy. The other thing is that I'm really excited to share with you. I'm going to be doing another free masterclass. Just save the date. It's Thursday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Pacific time. 3 keys to get the clarity you need and the love you want. And I'm going to be taking a deep dive into all this stuff that we're talking about today. So I love you guys. I'm here. You gals, I love you. I'm here to support you. Click that link if you want to talk privately and get some support to be able to move ahead, because you deserve to be happy, and it's time, right? Here's the bottom line is that no relationship is ever going to be right unless we are in right relationship with ourselves. So that's where I invite you to keep your focus, right? That's where I invite you to focus. How can I be in good, right, loving relationship with myself? And I know that usually there's like, took me decades to figure out how to do that, and it requires like some tools and support. So click that link if you want to talk more about that. But in the meantime, I always like to leave you with this. Is your bottom line go-to question. Anytime you're feeling any negative emotion, the question that I want you to ask yourself is, what do I need to do right now to take care of myself? Maybe I need to walk out of this room and pause this conversation if I'm with someone that it's not a constructive conversation. Maybe I need to put my hand on my heart, take a few deep breaths. Maybe I need to go outside and go for a walk. I wish I could do that today, but the air is toxic around here today, so I'm dwelling indoors with my lovely air purifiers, focusing on what I can appreciate. That's another thing, right? Let's focus on what we can appreciate. And what do I need to do today to just take care of myself? Maybe you want to click that link and get on my calendar and save the date for the free masterclass coming up July 13th. Watch for more information about that. All right, give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you today. Love you. Leave any questions or comments. I'll be going back to look for those. All right, my dears. It's have a good weekend. We've got a holiday coming up that's all about freedom and independence. So let's get you there. All right, click that link if I can be of support if you want to chat privately. All right, lots of love. Bye for now.